Is that a 2 liter?
It's a 1 liter, baby. Welcome.
That's a 1 liter?
Yeah, it's a 1 liter. Welcome to this week's episode of Pit Against a Live Flush Up Call-In Show. I'm William, Table and Legs, and I'm joined as often as I always can be by my co-host Kevin Smurph Murphy. Kevin, what's up?
What's up?
Dude, I'll tell you what's up. I'm vibing. I am celebrating. I am cheering. This is so good. I'm so hyped. I'm not going to go through the spiel. We have enough people already who want to chat. But this is a call-in show. If you want to call in, we will have you on. Look at that on screen right now. Audio listeners, we got what is it? What is it exactly?
This is the gold foil that I opened for Top 8'ing London, and it is a gold foil Mask of Momentum.
Oh, it's so good.
It's
so good.
It's very close to the best pull. There's Skullcap and Grasp, which are the only two that might be better, and they're probably still tied.
Grasp is... I would think Grasp would be better. Grasp is pretty good, but Mask, though...
Mask is kind of...
You also got to think about like who's buying these cards, and who's buying these cards. Ninja players, some of them shill out for like Mask. So
yeah,
it's
I know Tyler Broughton opened another Mask Momentum the same day.
Oh, that's super cool.
He bought a sealed gold foil from Sao Paulo.
Oh,
and he opened a Mask for his Katsu deck.
That's dope. That's super awesome. So naturally, this episode, we're obviously going to be talking about Pro Tour London, Kevin's run, Kevin's reign, and we got a couple of takes, but I'm going to start out with my own take, which is not a take. It's going to be a ask for you to give a very quick recap of the event, right? You got top 8. I give you like 4 minutes.
Okay. Specific.
Yeah.
I mean, I played Prism. That's the only deck I'm capable of playing at this point. I ended up with 2 very favorable draft seats where the people to my right were very cooperative with also the packs that I opened. And I managed to 5-1 a draft format where I was 2-12 the week before.
Jeez.
And I had drafted Arachne once.
That stat's so crazy. Oh, also, I was confused because they had a graphic on the screen that said you played Arachne, then Syndra.
Nope, that was wrong.
Yeah, I thought so. Because I thought I read that you did 2 Arachnes.
That graphic was messed up, for sure. Because they got it right in the live blog.
Oh.
The live blog had everything right. The graphic for the stream was not correct.
Oh.
Because I am not on Team Mara Ferris. That is not my testing team.
True. That's also true. Team Mara Ferris. So, what was the other thing I was going to bring up about this? It was going to be the 2-12 in draft prep. I don't know how many people knew that or how public you were about it, but I knew that. I was like, I'm sure he's going to do awesome in CC, and I was nervous. I was genuinely so nervous about the first draft. I was refreshing Bluesky every 5 minutes. I like had to know how it was going.
Yep.
Especially
I was.
You posted you posted I think something I think this deck is cracked, and I was like, oh no, I've seen this before. He's gonna go 0-3 and it's gonna be the saddest thing, and then you didn't.
I think I only posted that once I'd won my first game.
Okay. That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
After the first round of that draft,
that is right.
No, like everyone who was at the event that I was talking to, like knew that I'd been like struggling in draft and I had a rough time. Like I 0-4'd the 2 practice drafts that we'd played, one of which was Arachne, and that was the only games of Arachne that I'd played in limited. But like I kind of just like rode. I took advantage of like one of the things that I've always been decent at in this game is finding my seat.
Yeah.
Either I find the correct seat or my seat is cursed and there's no correct seat.
You'd be good at Magic
usually how it lines up. Potentially. And like I was very fortunate in my first draft, which is I open this is Japanese print. So the collation I think is slightly different.
Interesting.
Because I opened my first pack of the first draft, and it's red Mark of Black Widow, blue generic, like blue assassin card that isn't remarkable. And in the hybrid slots, there's 1 generic and 3 draconic cards.
You mentioned
like,
that in your yeah, you mentioned that in your
like
recap, and I was like,
yeah, like actually illegal to play in Arachne cards, not just like, oh, all of the cards can be played in one of the draconics. No, they were just straight up draconic cards, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna pull a Mara, take the assassin card.
I love doing that.
Say, everyone to my left, take the other 2 classes.
I love doing that. That is my favorite thing to do.
And from my right, I get like pick 2. Like, I'm in my pick 2, I'm choosing between 2 sides of the blade.
Yeah.
And Den of the Spider. Which is
great. Both of those are great.
I take the 2 sides of the blade.
You explained that in your video.
Yeah. And I'm like, this is the only D-React I'm ever going to pass in this draft. And the rest I'm going to just take.
Yeah, D-Reacts are so good in this format.
They're insane.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm taking the assassin card. This is my signal. Get out of assassin. And also the people to my right are presumably not an assassin then. Or the person immediately to my right. And then like pick 3 is like danger digits or something. And I'm like, I take my seat. And then I just like, I have kind of a nuts draft deck because I've put so many people to my left off of assassin, and the people to my right all just like agreed to not be assassin.
Yeah.
And it ended up super good. And then like something very similar happened in my second draft, and I just like, I was in the right seat with the right packs.
It's so good. And then you just win all your Prism games. I say all. You lost 2 of them, right? But
win enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But your real quick, how did your 20 Prism games, or however many you played that weekend, go? How'd you feel about the deck and stuff?
They went pretty well. I went 7-2, and my only losses were to Enigma. And by the end of the event, or by, I guess, Saturday night, I was pretty much rethinking my Enigma plan. I'd watched some people play the Herald Beatdown plan, and it seemed way better into the Enigmas that showed up to the event. Because the Enigma deck can move quite a bit. But I was watching Andrew, the first seed Prism, play that matchup, and it just looked not easy, but just way more consistent than what I was doing, where my version was very finicky. So those are my 2 losses in Swiss.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, otherwise I went 7-2. I beat everything else. I beat Aurora, Zen, New, Marionette, Slippy, and then Prism. And then I beat 1 Enigma. I beat my first
that's
Enigma
right.
that I played.
True.
I went 1-2 against them.
I think that's awesome. I think that's exciting. If for audio listeners, I am decked out in my celebration attire. It is New Year's at the house right now. We are just jamming. I've been in party mode for like a week straight. Let's get into callers. And I want to do them, if it's okay, I want to do them a little out of order, just to like keep the keep the call-in show flowing in this order.
Yeah.
I think TCG Talk has the most Prism or Pro Tour themed one. So if we could pull in TCG Talk first, that would be awesome.
Yep. Okay.
So while Kevin's going to do that, I'm going to remind everyone listening at home that if you want to be on air talking to us like TCG Talk, you can. You could just join the Discord, link in the description, and then put a take in the takes channel, and we'll have you on air. For those that we skipped right now, because I know other people put in takes before him, we will get to all the takes tonight. I'm going to try to make sure of it. So, frick. I need to do something on my end.
Oh.
How do I get rid of the freaking... There we go. I don't want your camera in here. Freaking... Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Dylan. I'm calling from Virginia, as before.
Heck yeah.
Um, yeah. So yeah, I put it in the Discord, and I'd like to get Kevin's opinion on it. I could throw him in there, an actual good Prism player, because I only have my perspective of this, and we don't have any. And now we have Prism mains because Kevin talks to Conrad and all them, I guess, or Sam, and now they all play Prism. So our
Yeah.
entire lobby, our entire armory is Prism Enigma. So thanks for that.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's
Dude,
terrible as
people,
a
we
Ira
have
player.
we have one person
Go
who
ahead.
plays the best deck in my locals, and then that's it. Like that's all the Prism, and everyone's shoving Prisms, like 6+ Prism sideboard slots in their
Oh,
deck.
oh, bro, I'm telling you, it's an overcompensation for PQ season. I don't think Conrad's playing, but I literally had 2 Amnesia, 3 CNC, 2 Blanche, and my 3 Erase Faces, which are for other stuff. But like, I
Holy
was like, nope, I'm
frick.
not doing this. I play Iris, so it's a lot easier to do that. Anyway, that
Yeah.
kind of goes into this conversation though. From Kevin's perspective, is
Yeah.
back.
Mhm.
I wasn't as competitive player back then, so my knowledge base was lower. But I was playing Katsu back when the OG Prism days, and like I always felt like, especially with Halo up now and like how good Prism players are, running a playset of poppers just feels useless into certain decks, right? Like if you were a Katsu, or I'm just gonna say random decks, or a Syndra, or an Aurora, or any deck that is not naturally a popper deck, um, or it has a game plan that is not focused on like high powered attacks. I feel like at this stage in talented Prism players and the way the deck functions, unless you're running 7 power poppers and they line up at correct times, it just feels like it dilutes my game plan, and I feel like I should just be focusing on trying to kill you or doing my own thing. But I don't know how, because I feel like when you do have those poppers, Prism's like, okay, I'm gonna pay the 1, and if I didn't draw a dud hand, that did absolutely nothing. Especially when you have 9 War 2 Heralds in the deck, because in those matchups, typically you're running the red Heralds, so like you have
Yeah.
that cost curve to just keep going. So I guess all I have to say, the hot take is like a playset of poppers into non-popper wearing decks does nothing, and I would like to feel what Kevin's thoughts are on from the other side of the table with that.
Mhm. So I guess I'll start off with immediately your first 3 set of 6 power poppers are basically irrelevant.
Oh.
Um, the first one is going to get haloed for Triumph or Footsteps. And honestly, like if you want an example of this, you can watch round 13 when I'm on camera against
Mm-hmm.
Slippy. He just has a playset of 3 CNCs, and they're functionally irrelevant
Yeah.
to the game. They're not like irrelevant, but like I don't care. My deck
Mm-hmm.
is built to push through that with no issues, really. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't even Halo for Triumph on the first one because I'm fairly certain he has a D-React set from turn 0. Like, it. I'm not worried about a set of 6 power poppers. If you're only on 3 of them, I don't really care. You need to get into the 9+ territory for that to matter.
Mm-hmm.
If you bring a set of 7 power poppers, then stuff gets a little trickier, and I have to like manage Triumph, Heralds of Triumph well. And if I Halo for Triumph on one of those, then things can also still get weird.
Mm-hmm.
Blanche is also relevant, just because if I don't have a yellow, then stuff doesn't have go again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as long as your deck is already equipped to resolve it, which Ira pretty much is. She's built to pitch a blue every
Yeah, she's
turn.
one of the few that can actually do it.
Um,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Um, I'm almost never going to be able to cover that for 7. I would just block for 6 and then send a single Herald, flip it, and have to be okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the first set of 6 power poppers is functionally just it doesn't do anything. It guarantees me a good Halo for Triumph turn,
So,
which is almost a benefit to me.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. The deck New Prism, it is in a way built to combat decks that are just like all 6 power attacks. Like at least a little bit, right? Like generally you're not great into Brute, and then Guardian is its own thing. But in general you have ways around poppers anyways built into the deck. So if you're only running like 3, then it doesn't matter. They're
Yes.
they're irrelevant.
So I will say there is also a substantial difference between New Prism and Old Prism,
Mm-hmm.
in that on hit go to soul is worth like 10 times more in New Prism than it is in Old Prism, which means
Mm-hmm.
poppers get different values for all of these decks. or like for all of these matchups, poppers play completely differently. All the heralds play completely differently. Like Herald of Triumph just wasn't really played. It was the most milquetoast herald possible in OG Prism. It just like didn't matter, dude.
Yeah.
You didn't care about the -1.
No, I think the one that
in this deck
didn't matter
on hit soul is worth so much.
Mm-hmm.
I think the one that didn't matter was the one that dealt with Banish Zone, because we didn't have a million heroes that work with the Banish Zone like we do now.
You just had Chain.
Yeah, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, it was fine into Chain. But, like...
Sure, the first one gets eaten by Husk, and then the second one is, like, kind of relevant. But, like, on hit soul matters just... I think it's actually 10 times more than in OG Prism. And it's pretty close to 100. Like, this deck does not function if Heralds don't go to soul. So Triumph just becomes... Herald of Triumph just becomes an insane card in the deck. There's a reason it's been at 9 of forever. Like, since the deck showed up with the new weapon, Herald of Triumph has been a 9 of for a reason. But yeah, I think the third... Like, just adding 3/6 power poppers, adding 3 CNCs does not do anything in terms of Phantasm. Because, like, half the time in these matchups... I'm just like, yeah, I guess I'll Halo for Triumph here defensively. I don't love it. It's whatever. I just get to Halo. I eat a couple points of damage, and then I flip Shariah at the end of your turn when you have no action point. Like, and that's fine. But if you're going to let me Halo for Triumph on a popper when you've given me a card, and then I get to, like, 2 cards into Soul, plus fetch, plus then Shariah draw, plus another Herald, and you only have 3 cards to come back at me with, like, I'm going to take that.
And you did.
Yeah. Like,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, even as an Ira player, like I have to like find a D-react before I find my first popper, and then just dare you. And now we're playing a game of chicken of who has the wrath, who has the D-react, and like whoever has with the other usually not wins but gets a major advantage.
It reminds me of
and that's in a deck with 12 poppers. Like
it's like it's almost like the same kind of mini game as like Swear Jar, Arcane Cussing, where it's like there's this pseudo tangible thing that players play around, and the idea is just whichever side it lands on just gets this huge chunk of value. What's up?
Yeah.
And then
I have for sure on turn 0 against Ira, I sent like a yellow tenacity at one point against a local of mine who was on Ira, and they popped it. And I popped Halo for Triumph on turn 0.
Yeah.
Because I knew they couldn't D-react it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
again, as Ira, my goal is to keep you off soul for like the first 4 or 5 turn cycles. Like I'm trying to get you in the teens before you get soul 1.
Yes.
And I'm basically forcing you to Halo on your turn to do something. Like that's what I'm trying to do.
So your original take, you think it might just be better for some of these decks to just not run poppers?
Yeah, I think in this PQ season especially, like I'm already seeing a lot of people play Prism on Talishar, and we're gonna go back to what we went to way back in like late Monarch meta, where you had a lot of because we have a lot of aggro decks in the format. You're gonna have a lot of aggro decks who just at a lower skill level, and I'm on that lower skill level, so has no shade at all, are gonna like just sideboard in 3 poppers because they think they're supposed to, or they think that helps the Prism matchup, and then they get wrecked, and they're like, why isn't this working? Because again, and Kevin can attest to the difference in Prism like skills. So, like when you actually play a Prism, not a good Prism, but a Prism main who knows how to play around things, like you're just gonna get destroyed, and people are gonna get feels bad, and then people are gonna totally different tangent. People are gonna complain like Prism's so unfair. It's like no, you just aren't understanding how you have to play into Prism.
Quote unquote get good.
The basic hot take. Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
I think you're kind of on the money with that. Where it's like if you're gonna add a set of poppers, you have to add 7s, and adding just siding in CNCs does not move the matchup really at all. You're almost better off sending the CNC at face and trying to take cards from me than popping with it.
Well, I like this take, and I think it's interesting. And I'm definitely going to be thinking about it going forward, looking at other people's lists. I really appreciate this. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Nope, that's it. Kevin, you did great. I love and hate you because now Conrad and Sam are going to keep playing Prism, and it's going to make my life.
Wait, Sam's back on Prism?
He's debating between Prism or Vincent. Armin's trying to get him on Vincent. So.
Oh, because Enigma's leading. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
He's heartbroken.
Right.
He was in the group chat crying that weekend. But yeah, thank y'all so much.
Anything you want to shout out?
Nope. Y'all are awesome. Thank y'all.
Like your YouTube channel?
Nope. I don't have that anymore. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, frick. All right. See you. Bye. Okay, he's gone already. Dang. All right. Thank you so much for the call. We'll have you next time. I say to the void. Do you want to bring in our next caller, I guess?
Yeah. Which one is it?
I think Tommy, and we can like wrap up Pro Tour with Tommy, unless we get another take.
Sure. All right.
Sounds good. What's up? Oh, we got some more people chatting. The finesse playstyle option, always hated by people. Take it from I'm going to say illusionist, from a blue player, from an illusionist player, 100%. Tommy's coming on. We're going to get Tommy Fresh and Buds. Tommy Fresh from Orange Juice to come on. And up? Holy frick. Caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Tommy Fresh, calling from the great state of New Jersey.
I don't know if I've ever heard someone call New Jersey great. What would you like to talk about on the show?
Well, I know that you have a certain take apparently about Pablo Pintor not being.
Ooh, yes.
Oh, yes. You two have to fight this one out.
Yeah. We get to fight. I get to talk in one of the takes.
Listen. Well, how about this?
Okay.
You tell me why you don't think he is.
Okay, so I'm going to start. I'm going to start with finding my message, right? So
there's only one other person it can be.
Yeah. So
at this moment.
Yeah. So
Kevin Murphy.
True. Actually, to be fair, there was a tweet made by Michael Fung where a reply where he said, "You are my goat," to Kevin.
He did in fact post that on Bluesky publicly for the world to see.
Michael Fung, everyone. All right. So the crux of the debate is Pablo Pintor has won Pro Tour London. Spoilers. This is his second Pro Tour that he has won. He won a second tier 4 event. And
his third top 8.
Yeah. Oh, and it's his third top 8. That's so good. And so it's interesting to me. I made a tweet. Michael Hamilton is still the greatest of all time? ? I'm still kind of debating it myself, but I think I feel a little more strongly about it the more I've thought about it. I think that's where I stand right now. There's no shot to anyone. Pablo is a close second. I would love to debate this on Pit Against. This is what you're here for. My take on why Michael Hamilton is the GOAT is pretty simple, and I'd love to hear your side, but mine is, so Pablo's got 2 first places in tier 4 events and a top 8. Michael Hamilton, let me back up a little bit. What tier event? Back up for a bit. I'm gonna do some clarifying statements. Kevin, what tier event is U.S. Nationals?
3.
Yeah, but is it?
Yes.
I mean, I qualified for it. I mean, that's all I'm saying. Twice.
William, you can qualify for U.S. Nats.
I know I can. But I think it takes a special player to win it. And they're also the biggest nationals. Like the U.S. Nationals is huge. It actually is mildly international in the sense that a lot of people from other countries come to play in the calling.
But they're not playing in nationals.
No, they're not playing in nationals.
So
with Pablo with 2 tier 4 event wins and a top 8, Michael Hamilton has a world championship win, maybe debatably slightly larger than a Pro Tour, and a U.S. Nationals win.
I'm sorry, what?
Maybe just a little bit. It's got worlds in the name. It's flavorfully bigger, in my opinion.
Sure.
And then also, he has won a U.S. Nationals.
And
like a million other things.
And he's top 8 worlds again.
Yes, yeah, that was the other point. So if I...
And how many callings has he won?
Like a billion. Like all of them.
At least 4.
So many. And then, so like
I can count at least 4.
Oh my gosh. So
immediately.
If I consider U.S. nationals to be tier 3.5, round up to 4,
Sure.
then Michael Hamilton has 2 tier 4 events and top 8'd 1. Pablo Pintor has 2 tier 4 events and top 8'd 1. Michael Hamilton has a ton of calling wins, and also, as Pablo Pintor said himself, no.
As does Pablo Pintor.
Yes, yeah. But as Pablo Pintor said, he's also a better deck builder, and I'm a simp. So that is my argument for Michael Hamilton is better.
I have
Pablo
no doubt of that last part.
Pablo Pintor said he was a better deck builder, and then also I'm just a huge Michael Hamilton fan. I'm also a huge Pablo Pintor fan. Like, when either one of them are like making a run in day 2, I'm watching them specifically. They like to play decks I like to play. I don't know. I'm big fans of both of them, but I think I give it personally to Michael Hamilton. Also, something in a very healthy, flesh and blood specific kind of way, national pride maybe. I don't know. Tommy, what's this about Pablo is the GOAT?
Well, I think you bring up a lot of great points. Certainly, I think like in terms of the accolades, it's always gonna look kind of similar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Worlds is obviously, it has the title, and that is going to carry some weight. But 3 Pro Tour top 8s, and 2 of them being wins, is huge for Pablo. I think longevity is something to take into consideration here. Won the first Pro Tour.
True.
And then,
I think they're both up there on that, because Michael's first calling win. Oh, never mind. Michael has 5 calling wins, because his first was
oh my gosh,
fall of 2021.
No, that's when he started playing.
He won calling Orlando.
Michael Hamilton?
Oh
yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because he played in
November.
He played in.
It was pre Everfest. He played Oldham into Briar Meta.
That is true.
I thought he played Starvo.
He played Starvo after Everfest came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he won the Starvo one in Indianapolis.
That's
he
it.
Won
I got
both
the 2
calling
mixed up.
indies.
I got them big.
Yeah, so Hamilton does have 5 calling wins to his name.
Holy frick.
So I think their longevity is about even.
Yeah, about even. Yeah, I guess that's actually pretty close.
Yeah.
But also, I think consistency, I think we see that Michael Hamilton, as great as he is, we see him have off weekends. I just feel like we don't see that many off weekends from Pablo, right? Even, what was it? What was the last? Amsterdam. I'm pretty sure Pablo was still top 64 with Riptide.
He was top 16 or 32.
Yeah.
One of them.
Yeah. With Riptide.
With Riptide in Bond's Art of War Zen meta.
Yeah.
Holy.
A deck that I'm playing as we speak right now. Or at least the base of it. But,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Dude, some people can win without their deck.
I do think Hamilton's consistency is a little weird, because it's if he doesn't gel with the deck, he'll do fine, but he won't spike an event.
He's got to be.
And if he gels with the deck, he will crush event.
Yeah, yeah. Just like my boy Kevin.
Amen. That is absolutely true. They're so close, but recency bias is definitely going to give it to Pablo.
Yeah.
But he's so the consistency alone, I think, really puts him at the top. And he's always good. I mean, and now at this point, we're going to round up right now. He has essentially put 3 heroes to Living Legend with his wins, which is also really cool.
He put Oldham,
Chain.
We're okay, so we're counting Chain from New Jersey.
Yeah. Well, that was the points that put Chain.
Oh, that was it?
Yeah.
I thought Chain lingered for a week or 2.
It's close enough.
At
I
that
mean,
point,
it's cemented.
It put him right there.
Yeah.
No, it was enough to get him to LL, but at that point, it wasn't the immediate rotation.
Yeah. It was pretty similar to what he just did with Enigma.
Yeah. I think it was like kind of a weird thing where either Starvo or Chain was going to LL that weekend, but
Starvo.
Oldham, and now essentially Enigma as well.
He definitely did LL, like he basically LL'd Enigma and he did LL Oldham. I know that for sure.
So, he's got
Pablo Pintor,
this hero killer vibe to him, which is also pretty sweet. I just love it.
It's great. I'm gonna read this.
Pablo Pintor was 22nd in Amsterdam with Riptide.
Whoa.
And I'm going to be pulling up his standings in LA.
Charlie in chat,
which was with Reinar.
I love that. Charlie in chat was you got to have cojones to register Riptide and Reinar for big events. Absolutely. And then the Rune Chantress was saying few extra points to Michael Hamilton for winning the Worlds when it also had Blitz in it.
Yes, where he just played Icelander.
Yeah, he just played
both CC and Blitz
and Draft
because Icelander was messed up.
Wasn't Draft also Uprising?
Draft was Uprising, and he double drafted Icelander.
Yeah, he played Icelander all weekend.
Yeah,
that was so great. What a king. Oh, man.
So
I think the problem with this whole conversation is it's putting Kevin so much further down the list the more we talk about this stuff.
Kevin is our goat. Our goat. But we're talking about the goat.
I mean, yeah. Let's see. Pablo Pintor
Thank you.
was 19th at
19
at LA with Reinar. So he top 32'd both with Riptide and Reinar at Pro Tour level events, both with 10 wins.
I do want to this is something I didn't bring up that I want to point out, which is I had a conversation with somebody on Bluesky about like the quality of a win versus top 8, and they are very close to me in my opinion, right? Like getting top 8 quarters. Top 8's crazy.
Yeah.
And so to that effect, I also want to like jazz up Kevin some more in the sense that you got what place after Swiss?
I was 3rd seed.
3rd in the largest Pro Tour ever. Holy frick. I'm out of focus. Literally.
Listen, this is what happens when you come on Fresh and Buds a couple weeks before a Pro Tour. You know, I don't mean to toot my own horn here,
which is why he's coming on before US Nats and Worlds and Singapore.
And Singapore.
Yes. I think an interesting statement Brian Gottlieb said in something. I already forgot. I think it was the Dev Talk. No, it wasn't the Dev Talk. What was it? It was maybe it was the end of, I don't remember. He said it where he was talking about how that now that Pablo has won this, according to Brian, he believes Pablo is undoubtedly the GOAT. Sure, you can believe that. You can do whatever you want. And he said the ball is in the court for Michael Hamilton, which I think it would be such a good storyline for the back and forth between these two if he wins Worlds this year.
So what was the last time? What happened the last time somebody said the ball was in Michael Hamilton's court? I believe he top 8'd Worlds and then won the first Living Legend calling.
Oh my gosh, yes, because that was when James White called him out as for playing other games for winning alpha classes.
After Pablo won like 2 callings in a row, back to back, and then James White called him out.
Yeah,
and then Hamilton's like, "All right, let me just do this real quick. Hang on." Like.
Well, hey, listen. I mean, the ball really is in his court. Let's see if he could do it
again.
Is.
Let's see if he can.
I mean,
what do we have?
that'd be
US
sick.
Nats.
Okay.
Next.
We got US Nats coming up. We got calling Singapore coming up.
So I guess at this point, you know, Tommy and I have made our points. And I don't think either of us are changing. Kevin,
No.
as the deciding factor, who is currently the GOAT of Flesh and Blood? Not including you, of course. Or me. Or Tommy.
I think I have to give it. I think I have to give it to Pablo. And I think it's something that Sam said in his interview afterwards, which is just the consistency and the adaptability that he's had. Where it's like he's played Chain, he's played Oldhim, and he's played Enigma, all to extremely successful results, to like just massive LL points. And then he's played Rhinar, he's played Riptide. Like I don't even remember. Did he play Icelander at 1.2 or something? Like, I'm trying to remember what he played, like Spanish Nats one year. It might have been Icelander.
But I mean,
I'm
this
probably
time
misremembering that.
He brought Enigma,
but like,
which feels like in a sense a shift, right? Even like
it's a little bit of a shift.
Yeah,
he
it's
won
not
the calling with Enigma.
He has won a calling with Enigma before
that's
this.
right.
Yeah. Leon.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, calling Leon. And then he just does it again, and he just wins a Pro Tour with it. Like, he's put 200 LL points on the board for Enigma just in those two events.
I think I will concede that Pablo is probably the best competitor in Flesh and Blood, but I want to call Michael Hamilton the best player, which the difference is minor, but that's because they're so close in my mind, right?
Yes. They're extremely close, and like if we want to talk about who's innovating more, I think it's Hamilton, and that's not particularly close.
No.
Just because like he brought Bullander onto the scene, he brought CYB New onto the scene. Like
I had never seen, and you can tell me if I'm just missing this, but I'd never seen Mask of Perdition Slippy before, and then when he got the combo to draw 3 cards in a turn, I was freaking out. Or 2 cards in a turn.
I think it had been floating around, but he was the first one to do it on a big stage.
Yeah, I don't know how well he did at this tournament. I missed that, but
he had a weird run where I think he dropped like 4-3-1.
Okay.
Because he didn't hit. He drew a draft game. Because he had a draw in a draft game because it was a true draw because there were 0 cards left in deck for either player. Because his opponent is at like 1 or at 2, and he sends a blue bite and flicks his last dagger, and so the opponent has to block with their last card.
Oh.
And Hamilton has no cards left in deck, is my understanding of the story. So he had a true draw where neither player had cards left in deck and could not send weapons.
Because I think I saw at one point that he was like, what did he go, like 3-2 in CC or something like that? I don't remember.
It's something like that. I don't know.
Anyways.
He was 2-0 to start, I think.
Yeah.
But,
well, this
the Slippy deck was neat. I don't consider it the same level as Bullander or CYB New, where it's like, you watch those decks and you're like, oh.
Yeah. It's like
this is next level.
He figured out how to play the deck. Yeah.
Where it's like you looked at like Mask of Perdition, you're like, okay,
it's cute little combo. Cute. It's different.
It's cute on that one turn that you have, and then the deck just is the same as every other Slippy deck, it felt like.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe I'm wrong, and he can correct me.
Yeah, he can come on here and correct him. Absolutely, anytime.
Yeah. But no, I think Pablo has the better record as a competitor, and Hamilton is, and it's kind of fitting that like the decks that he makes that are really good, he does really well with.
Yeah.
And the ones where it's just like he's playing Lexi.
Yeah.
He doesn't do like super well with.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he has a certain kind of meta that is good for him.
Yes.
Right. Where I feel like Pablo is going to kind of thrive.
Probably more adaptable. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is not a point that really matters, but he is a GOAT in another game too, which, if you want to.
True.
True. I don't even know anything about that game. So like, obviously.
Genuinely. I've played a game. It's all right. I think it's interesting, but not motivating. You know what's weird? Alpha Clash does is at each of their quote unquote like callings.
No, I'm talking about. Pablo.
Oh, I thought you were talking about how Michael Hamilton is a world champion in Alpha Clash.
Oh, Alpha Clash. I mean, I'm talking about a real card game. That isn't Legend of the Five Rings like like a huge card game? Wasn't Pablo like
it was
a great player in that game?
I don't remember.
I don't know.
You'll
have to have him on this week on Fresh and
Bloods. I did message him. I didn't ask him to come on though. I was like, enjoy your travels. Let me see. Pablo.
Ring Chantress says Gordon is the GOAT. True.
Yeah, we have Gordon Cam going.
Gordon Cam. Yeah, you know what's one thing they do in Alpha Clash is at their like I'm gonna say calling because I don't know the size of the event, but at their calling events, they'll announce like X weeks before the event that there's going to be essentially like if I'm talking in Flesh and Blood terms, a landmark that is played in every game, and it'll do something like the first on hit effect every turn doesn't work.
Oh.
But they'll just announce this a few weeks before the event. It might be sooner than that. It might be like a week before the event. I don't remember.
Interesting.
But they do stuff like that, and it feels a little. This is not meant to sound derogatory. It feels a little MetaZooey, and I don't like it.
Touch. Sure.
You guys hear about this game called Vibes?
Okay, so thank you so much for coming
Club
on.
Penguin TCG.
That game sounds miserable.
I think Dagan White is playing like 20K.
He's gonna go spike it
Dagan
at
is such a
SCG-Con
spike.
Hartford.
Yeah.
Oh wait, do you know what their top rank is called?
Oh, I've
on
heard.
Their online ladder.
It's like Big Chungus or like thick boy or something.
It's dummy thick.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That's their top rank.
Is MetaZoo derogatory by default?
Thick.
I don't mean that.
Yes.
I know of the people who make the game, and they're genuinely nice people.
MetaZoo derogatory. Yes.
MetaZoo, lack of a better term, is how I used it. Well, thank you so much for the call. Anything you want to shout out?
Podcast, Fresh and Bloods, check it out. Trying to level it up a little bit.
Who did you have on your latest? Oh yeah, true.
We had Lupine Fiascos this week.
Yeah.
Last week was Dagan White. Week before that was just me. Which is probably the best.
I loved it. I enjoyed it. I'm gonna watch Lupines tomorrow.
Lupines was fun. Really cool dude. I'd never really talked to him, so that was a lot of fun. And then we're gonna get Joshua Scott on in I think 2 weeks.
Ooh.
I just talked to Brian Gottlieb. He's coming on. I gotta figure out when.
In case he's lurking right
James
now.
White. He said never talk to me again. So you know.
Emailed James White and he goes, Joshua, you answer this.
I need to go eat more of my Josh Scott chocolate.
What's that?
Oh, you don't know about the chocolate list?
I know about this.
Yeah.
Go ahead, though.
So Josh Scott shows up to every, like, international event or, like, Tier 4 event that he's at with a shoebox filled with, like, chocolate bars that are, like, a half pound each. And there's, like, 30 bars of chocolate. And it's a brand called Whittaker's, which you can only get in New Zealand.
Okay. That checks out.
Yes.
That means
so
he's
he is there
with
just
food?
handing out chocolate. Yeah, he's handing out bars of chocolate to people.
What the frick?
And if you're on the chocolate list, and you can check with Logan on this and Mara, like this chocolate is legendary. And I was privileged enough to get 2 bars of Whittaker's chocolate at this event.
I'm jealous.
Because I got one on like Friday or something, and then because I bought dinner Saturday night after I'd made top 8, he gave me another one on Sunday. So
that's another thing. You owe me a drink, and
I sure do.
I didn't care initially, but now that you were top 8 of Pro Tour, I gotta get whatever that drink's.
I got you.
I
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being on. We'll catch you next time.
All right, buddies. See ya.
Peace.
Oh, I love that. That was great. Dude, if Joshua Scott, if you're watching right now, I just want you to know that I'd really love to have you on in the chat. I say this because I know Joshua Scott has been
he's been watching the posts.
He's been checking out our channel, at least in some respect, because he's been liking some of my posts on Bluesky. Yeah. I see you, buddy. I'm calling you out right now a little bit. No, I don't mean to call anyone out, but I do mean to say.
Yeah.
Let's grab another.
We want to go
caller.
Get our last
last
one.
Our first take and our last caller.
Yeah. All right, BRB.
So if your name is Joshua Scott or any other name that is used on planet Earth or elsewhere, you can join the Pit Against Discord that's in the link in the description and put a take in the topics channel like all these fine gentlemen have done so far. You don't have to be a big content creator like all of them or a small content creator. You could just be a person with a fire in their heart to get a fire in their chest that they need to get something to get off their chest, fire, metaphor, something like that.
Hello?
Oh, hello. Caller, what's your name
up?
and who you calling? Where are you calling from?
I'm Boosting Spendog from Australia.
Boosting Spendog mentioned.
Oh my god! Boosting Spendog mentioned? Yeah, that's me, guys. No photos though. No photos. Right. Thanks, guys.
I'll make sure to put a photo in right now that I have of you. In the edit.
Yeah? Thank you. I appreciate that. And where was my call-in topic? Should I just say it aloud?
Yeah. What you calling in for?
It's okay. This is like, I'm just gonna say it. I think most prison players are either too attached to auras or know something I don't, and it's most likely they know something that I don't.
Well, Kevin does know things that I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he knows things that other people don't know as well. Elaborate more. What do you mean when you say all this?
Okay, so I was playing against one of my local victors, shout out Lee, and I was playing auras, and it was miserable, and that was like my one experience with playing auras, and I couldn't figure it out, and my knowledge is ridiculously bad, and I can't play auras to save my life. And that's probably the main reason behind it. But other than that, I can't figure out like a legitimate matchup to actually play the auras into in this current meta.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
So everyone who's not tier 1 or tier 2.
You're talking about London meta.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So this is interesting. I think London is one of the few events where Mono Rapture, where you don't run an aura plan, was actually better.
Yeah. Let's go.
I think that's going to change as soon as Enigma leaves and all the very defensive decks and Victor come back up to play and try and beat up Aurora. But I think this was actually one of the metas where if I'd put the time in, I probably would have ended up on a Mono Rapture list.
Okay.
And I just brought the auras because it was comfort, and that was the plan I was bringing into Enigma. And really, the crux of it is Spectre's a fucked up keyword.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, people have been complaining about that for 5+ years.
Yeah, that is really what carries those auras is because of how sticky they are, because of what the snowball that can happen. Like I have terrorized my local Victor player forever, where he's on 2 time snaps, double hammers, and null rune boots to try and play that matchup into me, because he doesn't think it's winnable without that stuff.
Wow.
But it's the matchup gets very weird when you the aura matchups get very weird where none of the math works. Math is irrelevant. Your life totals are irrelevant.
Turnover turn value doesn't necessarily matter.
Yeah, it is not a real thing. And Spectre is like the basis of it, and it's just like I think Spectre is going to be very important in the upcoming meta with Enigma gone. But if anyone who brought a Mono Rapture list to London and was prepared for it, shout out Dylan.
Yeah.
You probably made a better call than I did in terms of deck choice. In all honesty. Also shout out Leo, who made top 8 with Mono Rapture.
Crazy effort from that guy.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
I still hate Red Wrath with a fiery passion.
He's told me that like 4 times since the event.
Oh yeah, I have. That's my fucking soapbox. But no, I think the meta has to line up for Mono Rapture and just like pure Herald Beatdown to be good. But when you move into really slow metas where you need to, the problem becomes you have to fix your Heralds. Where the Heralds have to work. They have to do their thing. And like Florian and Victor and not necessarily Verdance,
Jarl.
but Jarl kind of, not as much.
Not as much.
But like if you're against Victor who has 40 poppers and you just send Mono Rapture Heralds at him, you're just gonna fatigue. But then you suddenly drop a Merciful and a Passing in the same turn, and suddenly your Heralds are a threat no matter what that Victor has to deal with.
Because
and
Passing
Spectrum
Mirage
means he can only remove one of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Passing Mirage gets rid of the
means...
Phantasm, and then the other one puts them in solo anyways.
Yep. So it's... And then Spectrum means you're going to keep one of them around. And as a result, you're going to get like some amount of value out of it, where you get a Figment out or you get 2 Figments out if they leave Merciful up. But
yeah, Merciful goated. So I will say, I'm gonna take this a different direction a little bit, away from how to play Prism. How many reps did you say you've done Victor versus Prism?
1.
I think that could be part of it. I've played.
This could be part of it.
Yeah, I've played Victor versus Prism. I think about 10 times now. It's not a ton, but it's enough.
Tim?
Yeah, into Tim, who's my local best deck player. But he does really. He has been playing Prism and he's been enjoying it. And won.
He picked up Prism at the same time I did.
Yeah, true. I think I've won. At least I can think of 2 games immediately, but if the stats came out that I won 4 of the games, I wouldn't be surprised. And that's just me ignoring AB, doing the opposite of Kevin's Victor. Ignoring AB, ignoring freaking time snaps and skippies, and it's just hit face as hard as you can, gamble as much as you can. I am pitching to gold, trying to gain one extra resource. I am running Snapdragon Scalers to give E-Strike go again.
God.
Yeah, literally.
Degenerate.
Yes. I am running Snapdragon Scalers for exactly 1 card in my deck. And I've won a few games doing that. Or at the least, I've had some very close games as well, where it's like you get Prism down to 1 and they're at 20 and they claw their way back, and that's how Prism works the game
and then
anyways.
You die.
Yeah, and then I die. But like there's also been games where it's like I put them in like they have to block with they're at 1 life, they have to block with 4 cards out of their hand. They have to block with 4 cards out of their hand the next turn, and then the next turn they drew an instant, so that they die. And it's like that can happen. Victor can just like try to high roll the whole game. So there's multiple different ways the matchup can go.
Yes.
As well.
There's like 3 primary ways that I've found the matchup to go, which is Victor's at 40 and he wins.
Yeah.
Prism, it ends up being a close game. Prism gets a pivot somewhere, and you kind of like grind out the game at both low life totals, and then Prism gets a pivot and takes no damage for the rest of the game and kills you.
I have played all 3 of those games,
and there's no in betweens on those.
Holy frick! I have played all 3 of those games.
It really is like those auras come down to either enabling angels to become just insane threats, or your heralds get fixed in that they lose Phantasm, Parable makes them unpoppable, Merciful means they go to soul anyways, you're still getting something out of your heralds, and that's what the auras are there to do, is kind of fix your win conditions. And I don't think you needed that for London. I played it I played Aura Plan into all 3 Enigmas, and I played it into New.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure I could have done just as well, if not better, if I had not brought the Aura Plan.
What's your record on Aura? That's a great question. What's your record on Aura Plan? What's your record on Herald Plan at London? That's a great question. Thank you so much for thinking of that, Spin Dog.
I got you. No worries. Happy to add to the conversation.
So I went 3 and 2 with Herald Plan.
Okay.
Wait, no.
Here, while he writes that down, did you have anything else to add to this?
Yeah, I think Spectra is actually probably one of the best illusionist keywords. Or it's actually better than people think. People need it more than they think.
Okay. Yep. Oh yes.
And I think you might at first be like, what the hell? Spectra is the most annoying thing on the planet.
Yes.
But when you start dropping mirror guys and realize why can't I kill this?
Ward.
People Ward, right? If
Mm-hmm.
if you get blocked out and the mirror guy sticks around, the game's just strictly over.
It's like when
so
I was playing against Dromai a lot because Mara is one of my locals, and I don't think it was her, but it was someone else pointed out a Dromai build where they present Dromai and you tech for playing against Dromai, and then they flip over your aura's attack for 5, I think is what it was.
Refractor.
Yeah.
Refractor.
And then you just play that card. What was it?
Burn them all.
You play Burn Them All. It's a 0 cost aura that just stays on the. It doesn't.
Can't clear.
You can't clear it. It doesn't leave. It leaves. It leaves when their graveyard's gone, and it's never gonna leave. And it just.
Oh yeah, that was Mara.
It is a
Mara had that build
weapon.
in her pocket.
That was the scariest thing. I only played against it once, and I don't remember who won, but I feel like it was close. If I didn't win,
I played Iris Dromai at a PQ in Icelander Oldham Phi season before Baltimore.
Okay,
and I went 4 and 2.
Oh, wow,
that's wild.
That's crazy.
So I played, what is that? That's 2 and 1.
Oh, yeah, it also has Go Again. Frick.
And then, so I was 2 and 2 with Aura Plan.
Okay.
In London. Both of my losses were Enigma, and that's a matchup that I would have switched the plan anyways, even in my list. And then I was 5 and 1 with Herald Aggro, including my loss in top 8.
You are as good with Heralds as you are in draft, and you are better at draft than Aura Plan. Got it. That's what I'm choosing to.
Enigma,
That's what I'm choosing to extrapolate from this data.
Sure.
Wartune Herald's aggro, just the bomb, I guess. Did I say well done?
Wartune Herald's a pretty messed up card, it turns out.
Dude, you can attack with it, and then if they pop it, you can pay for Phantasm, etc. Or
easy.
And you can do. It's so flexible. It's hot fire and flames.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Costing 1 is insane.
Yeah, it's even though it doesn't have an ability, it's Flesh and Blood has this design philosophy Throttle, right? Is a 2-cost 6 power, and it gets that extra 1 power over all the other 2-cost boost cards, which are all 5 power. It's just simplicity is so powerful, and I think it gives you options.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's also just 1 cost compared to 2 cost is your 3-card hands with double War Tuner just nuts.
Your math is crazy. Yeah.
You're on 3-card, what is it, 16? On average with double War Tune.
Well,
that's pretty messed up.
7 plus 7 is what, 14, and then if you hit, it's just crazy. It's just beyond the moon.
I average those at yellows for 6.
6 plus.
If you have double red, then it goes crazy. Yeah.
So if they're yellows, then it's 12, and then you gain, quote unquote, gain 4 life when it hits. One of them hits.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got like it's almost.
Yuck.
I don't know if you guys have played Levia before. It's got
I've heard
like
of her.
almost the same cost curve. You've heard of her?
Oh.
Yeah, she's like not bad.
That's actually a good
Yeah, it's
point.
like Graveling Growl is like a 1 for 6 or a 1 for 7, but you
That
have
card's
to have
crazy.
banished with just
Yeah.
like a restriction. But in Prism, there's no restriction. It's just like
you go Screamer into
you can just
Graveling
play
Growl.
it.
Oh,
Yeah,
Screamer
the
Graveling
restriction.
Growl is like-
The restriction is you put any card in your deck in your pitch zone. Frick.
Correct. I put a yellow in my pitch zone. All right.
Oh no.
Oh my
We're so
there.
bad.
gosh. Oh my goodness. I love that. Well, is there anything else you wanted to add to this?
Nah, not really. I mean, can I just shout myself out a bunch?
Yes, please. I
Just
encourage
give me
it.
10 seconds. All right. Oh wait, no, I do have a question.
Oh, okay.
Smurphy, are you subscribed to the Boosting Spendog channel? Let's go.
He's gonna say yes right now.
He's gonna say yes.
He's gonna say a
Let's go.
delayed yes.
Where is it?
Actually,
I
it's
can
funny
find
because
it.
he's just gonna check and then he's go, oh, I guess I'm not, and then he doesn't.
Yes.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah. Thanks. Good job on getting top 8, by the way. I think that was kind of cool. Go subscribe to Boosting Spendog. I've made like 3 videos and I haven't uploaded them, and they'll be uploaded like when I can be bothered. Merry Christmas.
That's very Spendog
And-
of you.
Yeah. Thank you, William. Knuckles from At on Legs Pit
Yeah,
Against. It's
yeah,
been
yeah.
great having me.
Oh, I do have
that's
one
something.
more thing in relation
Yeah,
to
yeah,
this
yeah.
whole conversation about what should we do with Aura Prism. There's a great YouTube channel at
Yeah.
SmurphFab. He has an
Oh
entire
yeah.
5-hour-long video where he goes over every intricacy in the entire 1-hour-long video where he goes over everything you need to know about the Aura Plane and Prism. I mean,
Is
it's
it
basically like it's basically like sitting down with him after the armory and he talks about the deck for an hour, and it's great. It's actually great. I've watched all of his videos.
That's true.
I've watched all of his videos, and it's not for like see if he does any abhorrent video or audio editing.
Yeah.
It's just to learn, and they're all great. They're genuinely great.
I have one question.
Oh,
Is there a fireplace in the background of any of them so I can like feel cozy while I watch the video?
I
Should
think
be.
I think
There
listening
isn't, but
to
there should be.
I think listening to Kevin's voice is cozy enough. You can just
Oh,
open
dude,
another tab
absolutely.
and pull up a fireplace on that one.
When I like open the video and I see that chill like purple guy, or like I think he's blue with like a purple hat. I don't know who that is, but that's kind of chill. And then
That's
Murphy
Smurph.
just gives me ASMR the whole video.
Yeah.
It's not ASMR, but his voice is just like
Yeah.
it's like. Have you ever had a crunchy bar? Like a oh no, Aussie chocolate moment. Name your favorite chocolate.
My favorite chocolate?
Yeah.
Kevin, name your favorite chocolate. Ooh, this
I
is
mean, I guess
interesting.
Whitaker's is trying to compete right now, but it's probably just like the.
Oh my
Ooh,
God.
Butterfinger.
Lint-
That might be my answer.
I think it's
Butterfinger.
Lint chili chocolate.
You would.
Chili chocolate.
Yeah.
That's wild. I didn't
You're
know you
such
could put
an
chili in the
adult.
chocolate. Is it dark chocolate or is it just like milk chocolate?
It's dark chocolate. Yeah.
Yep. He's an adult.
It's not like
confirmed.
crazy dark chocolate, but it's
Ooh, I have a question.
it's really good.
I have a question for Boosting Spin Dog. Are you
Hit me up,
subscribed?
let's go.
Are you subscribed to SmurphFab?
Yeah.
Heck yes. All right,
Yeah.
so we've done it. Gone
I
full
subscribed.
circle.
I did it like 10 seconds like after he subscribed because I've got his video open like right next to me because I was watching it and I was like, damn, that'd be real bad if he wasn't subscribed back to him.
All right,
So,
well, it
yeah.
all worked out. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
We'll catch you next
No
time.
worries. Yeah. All right. I'll see you next time. Have a
Heck
good one,
yes.
guys.
Have a good one.
Peace out. Bye.
So we had a few more takes, which was we've still yet to do Syndra's. Is that Syndra? Syndra's supplemental set one, and my boy freaking
Greg?
No, not
No.
Greg. Freaking Frick.
Oh, armpit. That one?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know why I struggled so hard on that. The armpit,
Yeah, I don't either.
my homie, the armed pit. See, the problem was I just got words mixed up. I'm dyslexic. But he has a take and is a great take. If he's here, we can pull him on. If you also have the time. If not, I think next week would be a great week to do takes involving specifically the Thursday. See, this is just my brain right now. I can't remember words. What happened Thursday? I mean, today's Thursday, but like last Thursday.
It is. I don't know. Keynote.
Keynote. That's the word. Yes. Jeez, my
Jesus,
brain.
Dude. I think we're done.
Greg is also my boy. It's this Coke. It's gotten to me. I've drank too much already. I'm drunk on Coke.
I'm on my third whiskey, homie.
I'm drinking something much harder than that. All right, so.
Okay, I'm on scotch, but fine. If you want me to be specific.
If you can hop on next week, that'd be awesome. We can try to do the whole thing about the keynote. I think that would be super cool.
Dope.
Do a week on the keynote and do a week on that other thing I wanted. Oh, ProQuest season. Though I guess we'll be like 2 weeks into ProQuest season at that point. But we can talk about the meta and all that. We can talk about the meta and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So.
And Syndra as well. We'll get to you then, because that is actually something I want to talk about with Guardian Mastery set coming out.
Oh, yeah, true. Yes, exactly. And we got to see some of the spoilers for Guardian Mastery. That sounds so dope.
Yep.
Especially now that I have sold out a Guardian like the idiot I am.
Yeah. I was very surprised that you did that.
Yeah.
But, okay.
We can talk about that after the
time.
show. But I think that wraps it up. Kevin, do you have any shout-outs? Is Kevin Murphy a permanent co-host? Boosting.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's one of the founders of this call-in show, actually.
Yeah.
And that's why we had to put him into top 8. I bribed, stole, and cheated him all the way to top 8. That's not true.
I don't know. I had some weird games.
You had some frick. And when I was, I wish I could have watched some of those draft games. I wouldn't have been able to hold my mouth shut.
Dude, my opponents were like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, dude,
this is the thing.
I never heard of some of those interactions. Did you get judge called?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
on some of those,
that's
sure
cool.
did.
That's great, actually. I love that when you get judge called and you know you just did the sickest thing, and your opponent just needs to make sure you're not lying to him. That feels great.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess other than that, I'm coming out with shorts this weekend. We're gonna record some tomorrow. Kevin has freaking okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I think I've given Kevin enough time to come down from his high. I don't think he has, but I feel like I've given myself enough time. We're gonna start upgrading. We're gonna start seeing improvements. We're gonna start seeing better lighting, better sound. We're gonna get him a studio. His YouTube channel is about to skyrocket.
Spendog, they called me on. I had played the contract card, the stealth contract card, where like you hit a marked Fang or Syndra. I don't remember which one it was, but I played it, and then I hit them on another chain link, and they're like, "Wait, you draw a card off that?" I'm like, "Yes, it's for the entire combat chain."
And they already said no blocks.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they were like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then they call the judge over, and the judge is like, "Yeah, he draws a card here, and it has go again." And I'm like, and they're like, "Jesus Christ!"
I die here, don't I?
Well, I killed that Syndra from 16.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes. Well, then I guess it was extinguished.
They had a full grip. They just kept saying no blocks.
You know what? I respect him for that. What I am going to say is, the shout outs for this week is Kevin's YouTube channel is popping off, so you already know it. But he's got great videos coming out, not just about the Pro Tour. He did a tournament recap, but he's also been doing very, very good mid to high level, actually even beginner friendly Prism content. Like, I think if you know the cards by name, and he'll put them up on screen anyways, if you just know the cards by name, it should be, that's entry level enough. Like these videos
I
are
try
great.
and do stuff where it's that next level of how you use the cards.
Yeah. Not just what they say, but also what they do, or how they mesh together.
How you build a game plan to actually how you turn those cards into a game plan to actually win a game.
It's so good. As someone who doesn't play Prism, it's worlds of information for me as the opponent, right? And so I think that's also important. I have a project video where I got the script written up, so that's going to be worked on. Saturday is the design stream where Amy and I are going to do some Flesh and Blood themed art, and it's just going to be chill. And then we do this every Thursday, so show back up next week, 8 o'clock. We're going to be talking about something. We're going to be talking about Syndra and Armed Pit.
PQs.
The Armed Pit. Yeah, PQs.
Post Enigma Zen meta.
PQs and the freaking James White talk, whatever it was called. I already forgot again.
Keynote.
Thank y'all so much for watching.
Yeah.
Bye.